certainly appreciate your help on the very first item under the multiple project updates handout, and that is, as many of you know, Mike Todd left our office this past December, and Andy has moved back to Michigan, although he is still supporting us on a number of projects when he has the ability to. But we are seeking another project manager, and in particular people with subject matter expertise related to interoperable communications, public safety communications. And so individuals who are interested in that, or if you know of potential candidates that we should reach out to, please let me know. I mentioned earlier about our Technical Assistance Award. We have been awarded 3 of the 5 requests. 2 of them were deferred. A TICP development workshop, the training and exercise plan workshop, and a regional communications plan. The SCAMP, formerly RICP, type of document, that was the UWASI request for the Maricopa County area. So all 3 of those have been granted to us. The TICP will be supporting La Paz County. And the regional communications plan obviously is supporting the Maricopa County, RWC, TRWC, and all the agencies in the greater Phoenix region, or central Arizona region, I should say, because even some agencies within Pinal County may want to participate in that strategic planning session. And that will be coming up on May 3rd. We have a SCIP implementation workshop. It is currently scheduled for May 22nd. Initially, we had planned on beginning our SCIP revision discussion today, but with the rapidly changing landscape due to the broadband picture, we wanted to make sure that we more fully understood how that's going to impact our kind of short, medium-term strategic planning efforts. So we did not have that presentation today, but the overall focus of our SCIP on further strengthening kind of the action plans within the SCIP will remain the same, but also with an eye at looking towards how the strategic plan aligns with the rollout of the National Broadband Network and kind of Arizona's strategy for looking at that. Last year we did include initiatives already related to broadband, so we most likely won't need that, but I certainly encourage people to email us your comments related to the SCIP. The full schedule is here, but at least put on your calendars now that May 22nd date. It'll be again down at the Carnegie Center just down the street from here. A SCIP update workshop will cover both the national level summary of kind of goal 2 results from OAC, but then also a specific focus on strategic planning, developing the action plans, and our broadband stuff.
Justin, can I make a quick observation here?
Yeah.
On the SCIP update. Currently I'm going through reviewing a bunch of the grant applications for our meeting on Friday. And it's kind of interesting. I'm about halfway through those right now, but it appears that there are either more well thought out or fewer applications for equipment purchases this year. It seems that we've probably satisfied a great deal of that, but then on the converse of that, we're starting to see, probably because of the NECP Goal 2 observations and such, more applications for planning to do SOPs and TICPs and those kinds of things. And given the conversations that we've had the rest of the meeting today, one of my suggestions for the SCIP update would be to further flesh out or to emphasize some of that kind of planning, because I think a lot of the strategic initiatives right now are kind of based on equipment purchases and systems development, those kinds of things. And maybe we want to start to de-emphasize that a little bit and emphasizing more some of the SOPs and those kinds of things.
Thank you. Great feedback. We also, Susan already mentioned our 3 upcoming COMEL classes there. We will still have 2 on the SCIP stuff. We will still have 2 kind of public review sessions. One of the key things, though, is that normally we have approved to SCIP earlier on in the year, but due to scheduling and a variety of other factors, we're looking most likely into the July PSIC meeting up during the law enforcement powwow when that SCIP will be approved. Or, excuse me, when the SCIP will be presented for approval. Don't want to presume too much there. Related to CASM and TIC fees, through the end of March, we still have technical assistance available to our office from last year for importing data into the CASM application. Communications Asset Survey and Mapping tool. All of the data that we collected during the Goal 2 process has been imported into the software. Our website still has all the templates, etc. available, and so I would highly encourage jurisdictions, particularly those agencies that might not have been part of a specific planned event during Goal 2, if you have that data available, the high-level data, I think, is what we're talking about here, what those interoperable assets are. We don't need the GPS coordinates of every air card that you have that's installed in a vehicle. But the high-level interoperable assets are the data that we need to make sure that we get populated into CASM. And through the end of March, we still have that technical assistance available to have that data uploaded into the application for us. We also do have, thanks to the City of Phoenix, a grant through the end of April to import any remaining Goal 2 and CASM data.
Yes, sir. Got a question. Is it possible to extend both that TA and that grant in terms of CASM entry? Obviously, with narrowband, we're on the tail end of that thing. There's going to be a fair amount of data changing as people are trying to get across the finish line in December. And I don't know if it's possible to extend that to where we can incorporate some of that new data that's going to be happening rather aggressively over this next period of time to extend those dollars to see if we can push it to the narrowband deadline.
We've actually extended both of those. They're statutorily set, so there's no further. Okay. I think there might be a 30-day extension on one of them, but we'll look at other methods. Both the technical assistance CASM import is still a resource available, and so we can further down the road look at requesting another TA award related to that, or other grant kind of planning efforts that we might have that we can use that for. But statutorily, both of those come to the end of the line here. From that, and kind of related to that, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of TIC fee efforts going on. The Phoenix area is wrapping up the update on their TIC fee and a tactical field operators guide for the Arizona Central region. Coconino County had their TIC fee development workshop in January, and I think the estimation right now is sometime in the April time frame when it gets finalized, and right now it's in the process more of going through the approval process. But that TIC fee is well on the way. Then with La Paz County on May 9th, from 9 to 4, and we'll get a flyer sent out to folks when we have the location finalized. But their TIC fee kickoff workshop will be held on that date, and any jurisdiction in the surrounding area which is interested in learning more about getting these TIC fee done and started is encouraged to attend this workshop. We have distributed to every county, Goal 2 county I should say, in the state, a template TIC fee and the data that can be updated and populated into it to kind of help jumpstart those efforts, and we're going to continue working with the other counties in the state that are lacking a TIC fee. Michael covered a lot of the broadband efforts. There are a few items on here that were not part of the presentation, but as usual, Michael has been a significant force in staying involved nationally and monitoring what's been going on. There's been a tremendous amount of work on the federal level moving broadband forward. The Regional Communications Systems Connection Project is in progress. The pilot test, the IGA is we're getting all the final approvals of that completed. was mentioned earlier related to errors that both Long Mesa and Jacob Lake suites have now been installed and are operating and up and running. And also on our RICO project, we haven't updated this group on that recently. 5 of the 6 planned towers, this was the $2.2 million project that we began with YRCS and DPS last year. 5 of the 6 sites have been completed and are installed and activated and everything's functioning on them. The 6th site is a site that tends to have problems with road access. And so that's a weather access issue on that. But we are still looking at the end of June having that project completed. The other phase that's going on concurrently with this is the drafting of MOUs for the 10 public safety answering points that are kind of in that southern border region area to have a shared single kind of communications channel amongst state EOC and those 10 PSAPs. But right now that MOU is in the legal review process. Under training, Susan, I think, did a great job, mentioned all the COMEL, COMT stuff. We will be able to notify you of those dates shortly on when that's going to occur. We are still in the procurement phase, though, on that. Unfortunately, until that procurement phase has been completed, we can't release any information on that. And then flipping on to the back page there, we talked about the different folks that have now got their COMEL recognition. There are a number of items. In particular, I want to call out the attachment to the updates. There's a report here. Both Michael and Susan attended the International Wireless Communications Expo towards the end of February. And if you were not able to attend, I encourage you to look through the document for some notes and their comments and thoughts related to that expo. With that, and one other, I believe I mentioned this date. If I didn't, the Maricopa Regional Strategic Communications Plan will be on May 3rd. I apologize for those of you that are part of the Phoenix UASI subcommittee as well. Unfortunately, with scheduling of technical assistance resources, etc., there needed to be some overlap there between those. We've got a number of different items coming up here, and with that, are there any questions?
Sorry to cut you off, Justin. All right, I think we're clear.